Hello there, I am RJB for RJB TV, and today we're looking at Rabbit against Sucon on fastest map, not on normal maps. We're back with the fastest map games. Rabbit is a all-round player who is very good at a lot of things, but not the best. He's just very good at a lot of things. For Sucon, we haven't really seen featured on the channel before. I don't think we've seen him before. He's a pretty good player, but he's also a little bit of everything. But he's chaotic. At least that's my first impression. He is a little bit chaotic. He's got a great game plan, but the execution usually looks a bit chaotic. Now, Sucon might be a little bit more familiar to the foreign viewers here, although I think you're all foreign viewers here. Except for maybe a handful who are from Korea, but I don't really know who is from Korea amongst my viewers. But that aside, Sucon is a high APM player with great game plans, but chaotic execution. That's basically what it comes down to. Whereas Rabbit here is the opposite. Rabbit is a little bit slower. He's great at a lot of things, but the one thing in particular that he is very good at is execution. His execution is crisp. He always knows exactly what to do, and he does it very well. He does it controlled. He prefers to be slow over fast. He prefers to be accurate. And if accuracy means being a little bit slower, and if he tried to be faster and do a lot more things at the same time, I think that's worth it, as long as it works. I really think accuracy, precision, and execution are more important than being fast. And Sucon is kind of the opposite in that sense, because he is one of those players who tries to be fast. And I do think that it hurts his accuracy and execution sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. But let's not throw this guy under the bus and say that his game is going to be a disaster, because Sucon is a very good player. And the Rabbit might have his hands full dealing with Sucon, because Sucon in particular is very good against Protoss, against Zerg. But I also think that Rabbit is very good against Zerg, in Zerg against Protoss. So this is going to be fun. And kind of a long-winded introduction, but I gotta somehow fill up the first 2 minutes. I gotta somehow fill them up. Alright. So Rabbit here starts off without a choke, and that's always a build order that I really like. He starts off with 2 hatcheries into a pool, and because Sucon went for a Nexus opening into 3 gateways, he is not really facing much risk. Sucon is also playing it safe for now, scouting with the probe, but not using his zealots yet. He's keeping them there back at home, just in case these Zerglings are going to attack him, which is a real possibility here, because Rabbit is going for fast Zergling speed. So what he does is he goes for 2 hatcheries in a pool and then gas, and then by the time the pool is finished, he will have about enough gas to start Zergling speed. Zerglings are spawning, Zerglings are going to hunt down Zealots and Probes. Now the Zerglings are a little bit stronger than the Zealots in the first couple of minutes of the game, while the first minute or 2, maybe 3, that they are out on the map, because they are simply greater in number. The Zealots themselves are of course stronger than the Zerglings, but it's just a numbers game. There's more Zerglings than there are Zealots, which are going to allow Rabbit with getting this choke up and functional. It's kind of like a cheat start. Usually the starting for choke would be a hatchery and a choke into a 9 pool into a 9 hatchery. This is a little bit different. It's 9 hatchery into 9 pool, into gas, and another hatchery. So he's really trying to get as many hatcheries as he can, as fast as he can, while using these Zerglings to keep Sucon on his toes, to keep Sucon locked into his base, while he gets that choke hatchery there up and running. It's a risky strategy, because if Rabbit here makes a mistake, if he really doesn't get anything going with these Zerglings, if he loses them too easily, Sucon is going to have real power in his hands, and he's going to abuse that power to break through that choke that Rabbit has. Rabbit has a couple more Zerglings on the way, just to make sure that those Zealots and Dragoons are not going to stop that choke from coming up, because the choke here is now up and running, but there's no Sucons there yet, and the Zealots are on the way to break it down. With force, with brute force. He's got level 1 attack on the way, he's got Zealot speed on the way as well. This game honestly looks like Sucon really is sticking to the plan, and there's no chaos happening at all. At least not yet. At least not yet. Now Sucon is feeling a little bit too... He's a little bit too cautious here, but to be honest, being too cautious in this case might just be the right choice, because that's a lot of Zerglings, and they're going for a surround. They're spreading out all over the map, gonna try to go for a surround on the Zealots there on the middle, or gonna go for a backstabber straight into the main base to snipe the cannons and the Nexus. Sucon is rightfully being defensive. Rabbit is spending a lot of minerals on those Zerglings. The choke is somewhat starting to form into a really strong defensive choke point. The Sucons are being thrown up. There's about 3 finished, about 4 more on the way. Rabbit is adding on even more hatcheries there in the back. Honestly, Rabbit is playing this on the edge. But that's one of the few things I said before at the start. Rabbit really knows what he is doing. He's not the fastest. He's not the most he's not the fastest. He's not the best at micro. But he's accurate. He's accurate as hell. His timings are great. His game sense is even greater. So he gets another Evo chamber there in the front to wall off the Sucons, and that's going to make it very difficult for Sucon to break through that choke. But Sucon already has a robotics on the way here back home, and he's adding on 2 more for a triple robo play. One of the few things Sucon really likes, or at least I think he likes, because I've seen him do it a couple times in replays I've watched myself, is he likes to go for really big shuttle drops against Zerg. He just loads up a lot of units and goes for a massive drop in your base. And sometimes that really works out just great, sometimes it doesn't. It really depends on how far the Zerg has progressed. Yeah, Rabbit is just fucking around with those Zerglings, and it's really showing because he's not really using those drones there in his base for anything. They're just sitting there, walling up, growing bigger, because he's controlling the Zerglings, and as I said before, he's not the best at multitasking, but he's great at doing everything else that he does. Zerglings are going back and forth, really trying to stop the probe from getting into the middle. He finally gets it. Finally gets the probe. The probe starting on the middle would be a real problem for Rabbit, because that means that Sucon can start building on the middle, getting cannons, getting a contain, getting robotics on the middle as well, and that is just going to make life a lot more difficult for Rabbit. Rabbit now trying to move out with more Zerglings. He's not really succeeding all too well. He's burrowing them up on the middle. I kind of like this diversity that Rabbit is showing. He's just trying to keep sniping the probes that Sucon can send to the middle, and Sucon adapts by simply not sending any probes to the middle. He's instead just building all of his robos back at home, getting observatory as well to detect those Zerglings so he can start building on the middle, but first he needs an observer, and it's not worth waiting for that observer to proxy the robots on the middle. Instead, just build them at home and start with your plan as you intended to. So that is what he's going to do. He's starting up with his plan. He's getting a lot of robos for a lot of reavers, a lot of shuttles, a lot of mass dropping inside of Rabbit's base. But Rabbit is now in 66 drones. He really has been droning up as hard as he can. He really droned up as hard as he could, as fast as he could. Now 74 drones, he's really, really rich. But he has no units to defend here back at home except for some Hydralisks. But there's 5 shuttles, 6 shuttles, 5 or 6 shuttles ready to shuttle units into his base. Now it's happening beneath an Overlord, so Rabbit can quickly adapt and start queuing up all the Hydralisks that he needs. And he is doing exactly that, queuing up all the Hydras, queuing up all the upgrades, and units are being flown into his base exactly as predicted. The Zealots are arriving, Zealots are going for the attack on the Hydras. The Zealots have level 1 attack and speed, so they are pretty damn strong. But Rabbit's Hydralisks have no upgrades yet, but more Hydralisks are spawning at the same time here. But Sucon is also picking up the rest of his units and flying them into the base. Now it looks like the fight is somewhat a 50-50. But as the rest of the units come into the base, this fight should be going Sucon's way, up until another wave of Hydras spawns and saves the day. A couple more units there are being picked up and flown over. I really like the attention to Sucon is really executing this build order really, really well. I really like this. There's no chaos involved at all. He's doing this really well. The only downside to his build order at the moment is he's not really spending his minerals all that well, and he doesn't have that many probes, but he's doing the rest really well. Sucon is great at attacking. He's basically killed, I think, about 50 Hydras by now, and now there's Reavers on the way as well. I don't know how many Reavers are in there. But Reavers... oh, he didn't pick them up yet. They're still here, back at home. Just gonna drop a couple more Zealots there in the base to keep Rabbit distracted. He's gonna lose the shuttles instead. He unloads one of them, but doesn't really get that much done with that shuttle drop. Maybe it would have been a better choice to keep those Zealots and the shuttles combined with this other group of shuttles. It is mostly filled up with, I think, about 8 Reavers and a couple of Zealots and Templars. Not sure what's in there, but there's Zealots and Reavers in there for sure. Whether there's Templars as well, I don't know. But this is a big drop there in the corner. Rabbit is going to struggle with killing this one. That's a lot of Reavers, and Reavers do a damn great job against Hydras, but the Hydras are actually spreading out quite well, and the Reavers not really shooting and not really killing all that much. So he's gotta get all of the Reavers before, and that drop didn't quite work out as Sucon intended. Sometimes those really big Reaver drops, they kill everything. Like sometimes they just select their own targets and kill as many things as they possibly can really quick. Sometimes they start shooting on the same things. Sometimes the Scarabs just don't connect, and that's kind of what we saw right there. The Scarabs were kind of going for the same targets, and not all of them were exploding or killing units. So that really went as well as it could for Rabbit. Even though he's still behind in supply, he's in a really great spot. So the Reavers there in the front gonna mow down those Suncons really quick. A lot of units are on the middle as well. Zealots, Templars. He's got pretty good upgrades as well. Level 1, 1, 1. Level 2 attack now on the way. The Goon range also on the way. And finally, spending his minerals here back at home. He hasn't built any more probes, still in 61, but he's making it work as best as he can. He doesn't have a huge income, but he's making the best of what he has. And that is, as I said before, probably his biggest weakness is, I guess, his economy. Although, while spending his money is his biggest problem. Yeah, Zealots are coming in, the front has been broken, and the Master Reaper drop there also on the way straight into the base. He's gonna go for probably all the way. No, he's gonna go to the side. No, he's gonna go for the hive. He's going straight for the main. Drones are running away. Drones run away just in time. Scarab does connect. He kills about 20 of them in the end. That's a really great hit there. Also in the front there, that's a really great way for Zealots breaking through. The Templars there are going to take it down by the Mulisks. And in the end, it does look like Rabbit survives this one. Not by much, but he survives it. While he's adding on another 4 hatcheries to really make his base as productive as it can be. About 19 drones are on the way. He might need a couple more, but I don't think he can afford to spend all his minerals on drones, because he really needs more units to defend with. Because Sucon, I think, is already producing his next big attack. Although you can really start to notice that his macro isn't really the best. He's great at everything else, just his macro isn't really the best. His base is also kind of chaotic, so I do think that, yes, this game is turning into that Sucon chaos. That Sucon chaos is starting to show. Rabbit there has a lot of lurkers in the front there. I don't see an observer on the map. He did kill something in the air. Oh no, it's just the Scorchers going down to the Dragoons. Yeah, that's a lot of lurkers there in the front that Sucon won't be able to take down. Also still has those Zerglings on the middle that Sucon hasn't cleared out. So he's waiting for observers, putting 3 of them at the same time. He's finally adding on a couple more things to his base, whereas Rabbit is just really growing bigger and biggest, really quickly. Oh, that's a great ensnare there on the shuttles. Makes him just a little bit slower, but he still unloads all of them there on the corner, but the Reavers go down pretty quick. Yeah, he does kill about 20 Hydras there in the corner, but not much more. Dragoons there are still alive in the corner. There might still be something inside those shuttles. He's flying them and he's going straight towards the drones in the back. Rabbit might suspect that they might be empty though, but he dodges it nonetheless. Dodges it. Still on the way. There's still a Reaver in there. Reaver gets taken down there, though. I guess Sucon really did have a nice trick up his sleeves, but Rabbit is aware. Rabbit can't be tricked. Rabbit knows that it's possible. So Observers finally coming into the middle. Zerglings have served their purpose, all getting taken down. Sad but true. Sad but true. Queen's Nest there still in the front. I kind of like the placement of the Queen's Nest in the front, because you don't really use queens that much. It's kind of like a nice little buffer the enemy has to go through before they get into your base. I like it, because as I said, queens don't see much use. Dragoons coming into the base there. Lurkers also finishing up just in time. Time for a fight. Dragoons there. The fight is breaking out. The Lurkers there in the back, though, are really doing a great job. Templar storms on the Lurkers, and more Observers arriving on the scene, but the Observers are going to have to run away very quick as well, because the Hiders are tearing through Dragoons and the Reavers. But more Dragoons are on the way. They're back from the base. Upgrades are on level 112. 2 armor, 3 weapon on the way. No shield upgrades are queued up, because he doesn't have the gas for it. He's killing that Hiders down there on the corner. The Rabbit has a lot of hatcheries, and the fight here keeps going on and on. The game is starting to look better and better for Rabbit. Even though his minerals are low, he's on 2 upgrades for his Hydras, and he has a lot of hatcheries. I count about 6 there on the top side, 2 more here for 9. About 13 hatcheries and the main, so 14 hatcheries for production. Rabbit is in a really great spot, and here he's defending this without a choke to fall back on. Just using his Hydras to get those spread surrounds on the Dragoons as they try to fight through that bottleneck here. It's really doing a great job. I really am liking Rabbit's play. He's slowed down significantly with his APM. As I said before at the start, Rabbit is not about speed. Rabbit is about accuracy and planning and doing the exact correct thing. He's not fast, but he is accurate and precise. He doesn't forget a single detail ever. It's all about the details. Where Sucon seems to be more about brute forcing his way through. He's trying to brute force. He's not storm dropping at the moment. He's not clearing out vision on the sides. He's just trying to brute force his way in. He's finally getting stuff on the middle here, but it might be a little bit too late to get those cannons up and running on the middle, because Rabbit's engine is rolling and steaming and going at full speed. Full throttle. Clearing out those cannons on the side there with the Guardians. He's slowly getting map control into his hands. Fighter on the middle also seems to be going this way, because reinforcements are simply arriving faster for Rabbit than they are for Sucon, who's struggling to keep up. Even though he's playing faster, he's struggling to keep up, because he, as I said before, his macro simply isn't the best. He's got fast production though, but he's not spending his minerals on building his base as well as he should. Lurkers on the mill here though are really... Oh, I think he stormed his own observer. Now the Lurkers are having a field day, killing all this stuff here on the middle, and more observers are going to have to be built and flown and cross map and enter the middle to save the day. There's still one observer there he has left, but I think the damage has been done. The Lurkers have killed pretty much everything that there was, and now Sucon is going to have a really tough game. A really tough game. He's going to need more Reavers, but he doesn't have enough gas. Somehow he doesn't have enough gas, although his gas is growing, but he... Oh, this army from Rabbit is so strong. The Lurkers, the Hydras, this is real chaos. The game is turning chaotic, where it's just running mass into mass, and Sucon seems to have lost track of his game plan. The first 13 minutes he had a really great game plan going with mass drops and Reavers and pushes and all that kind of stuff, but it's all kind of turning into chaos. He's got some shuttles there finishing up back at home to drop Reavers in his choke to defend himself with, but Guardians are peeling away at the sides of Sucon's base. Sucon really not having the greatest game. Rabbit's precise planning and detailed play is apparently picking Sucon apart. I really like this Lurker spread container on the middle. It just looks really strong. Scorcher in the air as well to snipe observers. I like it. There's a Reaver drop there on the bottom side. It might fly in from the bottom side of Rabbit's base, but I don't think Rabbit is going to get caught off guard by that one. Because he has got a lot of vision, except in his large pocket here, but then he still has the overlords there for vision, so he should be able to snipe that without much trouble. Also, observers there on the bottom side getting taken down, but the Reavers are tearing through those lurkers bit by bit, slowly advancing and breaking out of that contain. He's going to try to snipe the observers. Oh, the observers flying too far. Oh no. Sucon, don't be losing your observers now. That's the last thing you want. You really need those, because now Rabbit is going to just set up another contain with a lot of lurkers on the middle and keep Sucon blocked in for a little while longer. Now, Sucon's upgrades are in a pretty good spot. You got 2 armor, 1 shield, 3 weapon, whereas Rabbit is, I think, maxed out with 3-3, so 3-3 on the Hydras and lurkers for Rabbit. The attention to detail is really well done. I also like this. Oh, the spread out surround with the lurkers is really. It's working. It's also going down, but it's working. It's really slowing Sucon down with its advancing to the middle. But now mass Eulas are coming in to save the day. Going to snipe the Templar first so they can't get stormed. Going to take out the Observer as well. Now onto the Reavers and chase them back into the base. Make them run for their lives. Slow Reavers just can't escape in time. Now, is he going to go for the Nexus there because the Nexus is not that well protected? Or is he going to morph them into Guardians on the side? I don't know. But I really do like what I'm seeing. This is very diverse Zerg play from Rabbit that actually I don't think we've seen anyone else do this lurker contain. Except Rabbit. I've only seen Rabbit do this, and honestly it looks really strong. This goes to show that smart, accurate play really gets you far. Gonna try to snipe the shuttle there, he can't get it. Gonna try to get the observers instead, he gets all the observers. Ouch, 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 ouch. Sucon is just not allowed to leave his base anymore. Every single time the observers arrive, they get taken down, and his army is just stuck here, dying to lurkers very slowly as the Guardians coming in from the back side there. I like this. This Zerg is really on point. This Zerg is really on point. Rabbit Zerg, honestly. He doesn't have any defenses back at home. He's just purely playing on map vision and using his units here on the middle. He's purely relying on units. No need to build static defense, no need to turtle at all. As long as you can use your units well, as long as you have map vision and map control, you can take over the game and win it quick. Well, not quick, it's still like 20 minutes in, but you can win without having to spend time spamming defensive structures as a Zerg. I like it, I really like it. Yeah, no observer there in the front. Sucon is done for. There's just nothing he can really do anymore. It's just really his lack of being able to build his base. And I think he loses track of what he's doing a little bit too quick. He had a really great plan. I really liked the first couple minutes, where the first 10 or so minutes, Sucon really had a thing going. But after the Reaver drop inside of Rabbit's base didn't quite get the result he needed, things just started to fall apart. He just completely fell apart, and Rabbit every single time just had the exact correct answer prepared for what Sucon was going to try to do. Sucon really couldn't adapt, or adjust, or keep up. Despite being the faster player, I guess he just focuses on the wrong things. Rabbit just focuses on all the exact, right, correct things. Down to the smallest details, he is always exactly sticking to the manual, doing exactly what has to be done. I've said it many times this game, but it's true. It's true. It is very true. So that's it for today. I might do another replay between Rabbit and Sucon tomorrow or sometime this week. I just really wanted to do some Rabbit against Sucon. We have never seen Sucon before, so that's a new name on the channel. And Rabbit we've seen many times before. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you leave a like and a subscribe or whatever. Leave a comment if you want. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching. This is RGB for RJB TV. Have a good day.